me, Ross?
Okay.
Because there's no way any human could read the volume of information that Pauline shoots over while working. I can't even scroll past that many articles at a time without looking at any of them, let alone.
And I do apologize. I have taken to not sending half the stuff that I could.
Oh, I know that.
Well, now I don't know. Now it won't let me change that. Ah, jeez.
Okay. We've got hello everyone. This is our first social media con for 2021. And we've got Pauline Williams and Brian Ross and maybe a couple more people. And I'm really glad that y'all are here. I'm Trisha Shore, and this is Social Media Cons, the Lepers of Comedy. And we're going to talk a little bit about 2020. What happened in 2020? Anything exciting happened in 2020 that y'all can think of?
I don't know. There was a disease, and then there was an election, and I think they're somehow related.
I'm telling you, Stoner Steve fucked the wrong monkey.
What? The wrong monkey?
Stoner Steve the alien. He was cruising his route, smoking Venusian dust, and it crash landed down in South Africa. And after 10 years of banana steak, he got horny. And there was no gray alien with him. So he looked around at the gorillas and he's like, wow. And so he, started the human line. Do you remember when Jay Leno had those? What if they made they had one star and then they had another star? And they said, what if they made a baby? And they would be all good-looking babies. But let me see. Hold on. I got to back up. You still there?
Yep. Yeah. Are you talking about the thing of if this person and this person?
So they made this baby. What if a gray alien fucked a silverback Kenyan mountain gorilla? You got a human-looking motherfucker.
I gotta live with this guy.
That's what happened. But if he would have gone across the Congo River to the south side and fucked the bonobo, who are a peaceful primate, we would be a much better animal. But he had to pick those vicious little chimps, bastards.
I'm sorry. What happened?
Wow.
Did I hear that correctly? An alien landed and mated with a chimpanzee? Is that what you're saying? Instead of the silverback gorillas on the other side of the river? Am I understanding that correctly?
Oh, wow.
And in the middle of it, poor Tracy going, I have to live with him.
Yep. So we talked a little bit about the aliens and the chimpanzees, and that might explain stuff that's happening. Tell us a little bit about this, because this will kind of take us from one year to another. This New York State law proposed, I guess it's just in the bill stage now. Is that right, Pauline?
Well, yeah, they expedited it, but Cuomo wants to make it so that, we should look it up so we read the exact verbiage on that, because it's really scary stuff.
Yes, it is scary.
Hey, I want to know something, Pauline. How come my alien thing is conspiracy theory, but all this other stuff is, pretty much close to fact?
Yes. So this bill is currently in committee in the state of New York legislature. And it's an act to amend the public health law in relation to the removal of cases, contacts, and carriers of communicable diseases who are potentially dangerous to the public health. Not that are dangerous, but who are potentially dangerous.
Yes.
And it says removal and detention of cases, contacts, and carriers who are or may be a danger to public health. The provisions of this section shall be utilized in the event that the governor declares a state of health emergency. And
Oh,
upon,
it says health emergency? It says health
yes,
emergency?
upon determining by clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered by a case, contact, or carrier, or suspected case, contact, or carrier of a contagious disease that, in the opinion of the governor, after consultation with the commissioner, may pose an imminent and significant threat to the public health, resulting in severe morbidity or high mortality, the governor or his or her delegee, whoever he delegates,
Because of course they're
including but
expert
not
opinion.
limited to the commissioner or the heads of the local health departments, may order the removal and or detention of such a person or of a group of such persons by issuing a single order, identifying such persons either by name or by a reasonably specific description of the individuals or group being detained. Now that there is dangerous because you,
Wow.
just like we've seen in New York City already with the Orthodox Jews, because they've been persecuted in this whole crisis, and it's their parks that they've been closed down because allegedly they are spreading the disease, and they're super spread. Not the protesters who are out there, but these guys, the Orthodox Jews.
The Jews.
So to signify a group of such persons by issuing a single order identifying such persons either by name or by a reasonably specific description of the individuals or group being detained, such person or group of persons shall be detained in a medical facility or other appropriate facility or premises designated by the governor or his or her delegate and complying with subdivision 5 of this section.
Wow. Hello, Elizabeth. Glad to have you with us. We're just reading a New York State bill. Pauline is reading a New York State bill that talks about removing suspected cases. It sounds almost like something that's in Canada, and it's just moved its way south a little bit. Y'all
Wait,
have
what does that mean, removing suspected cases?
It specifically states that they can make up the definition of who is to be removed, and it doesn't have to be that specific of
But what do you mean by removed?
That's exactly what it's talking about. May order the removal and or detention of such a person or a group of such persons by issuing a single order identifying such persons either by name or by a reasonably specific description. Now, see, to say by name, that's like saying, oh, all the Orthodox Jews, they're causing the spread of this disease, so we need to detain them.
Okay, hold on. I think this might be making a little bit of a reach here. I'm pretty sure that it means a specific person that they think has COVID. They're not just going to be listing random, like, oh, sorry, that person's black, they have COVID.
That's not really the way this is written. It's an act to amend the public health law in relation to the removal of cases, contacts, and carriers of communicable diseases who are potentially dangerous. Not are dangerous, but are potentially dangerous. The wording in this is very carefully done.
Hold on, you know where this really gets good is over here in Canada. They've been literally throwing people in jail, and this has happened all over. I've heard this has happened in Europe too, but this has happened over in Canada. They've been throwing people in jail, quite literally, for just having parties or anything. So, like, let's say you had a gathering of a couple people over to your place. They can literally be like, oh, sorry, you're a danger to the public health because you've allowed people over to your house. You're going to jail.
Yeah. They're starting to do that in the United States too, unfortunately. Yeah. Casey, hello, Casey Judson. Glad to have you with us.
Hey,
We're
Casey.
talking about tyranny, tyranny in 2020,
Yeah.
tyranny in 2021.
How festive. How festive. Festive. How way to ring in the new year with tyranny. You know, like right now there's this huge storm going on outside. Like it's like windy, and I look outside, trees are like blowing, like they look like they're gonna fall on the house. And I just like pull the blinds, and I'm just like, forget it, just block it out. Don't even look. As long as I pull the blinds, that means everything's cool. That's how I feel about society now. Just want to pull the blind, keep the blind.
The problem is when it directly affects you. For example, right now, this is not my car that I'm sitting in. I'm sitting in my friend's Jeep because he has to give me a lift back home because I had to get a lift to work, like an Uber, because my house's power went out because of said storm. So I couldn't get the car out of the garage. So it's kind of like everything that's going on with all these laws. You don't really care until it directly affects you.
Mm.
No, I care a lot. It's just it gets exhausting, you know, because you're all trying to figure out what's going on with it.
Wow, this is saying that they can detain them up to 60 days without a court order authorizing the detention.
Oh yeah,
of course, it's martial law. They love doing that kind of thing, just like income tax. How income tax was meant to be a temporary war measures act.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, as soon as we get the picture that you have to resist it.
As soon as we get the picture you have to resist it, it won't matter because nobody's going to resist it, because resisting things takes a large group of people who are willing to go against whatever the common order is, which most people are not if we hadn't learned that from the Nazis.
Well, I hope I'm one of them.
Yeah, we need to start resisting. If you're not resisting, you need to start resisting.
Oh.
Isn't there a song about that? Resistance, oh, resistance. Resistance, oh, resistance.
Tradition.
I'm pretty sure there's an entire movie about that called Les Mis.
Okay.
We all saw how that worked out for those people who decided to resist.
That's why we're the deplorables.
I'm curious. I guess we think it's better if we don't resist. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like ultimately we think it's better for us if we don't. Is it? I'm just trying to figure out what it's like. Like, what is life like as a Chinaman? You know,
well, I could tell you, but then
it's not that bad, right? It's not really that.
Well, Casey, I think they have a very narrow field of vision. I'm sorry, I'm going to hell.
Because their eyes.
Yes, their eyes.
You can't
yes.
travel freely.
Goofy little yellow eyes.
Okay. Now, the non-racist perspective. I don't think that the Chinamen, I don't think that they have a very different life considering they're not all specifically in China. Not to mention they don't know what's going on because they're controlled by their government too.
Yeah, but they just have the common decency not to think that they shouldn't be controlled by their government. So that's what I think. Like, I'm starting to think maybe we're too arrogant here in America. Like, we think we have the right to come in. No, we don't have no right to do nothing. We don't have no impact. We don't have no right. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like right now.
If you look at it everywhere, what we have everywhere is a dictatorship in the form of a dictatorship that claims that it's democracy, basically.
Yeah, well, I guess, I mean, you know, it's still a democracy, I guess, until now, though, when we have now where, like, the actual votes actually don't count. That's a new one. We always had before, because all my life, it's weird. I'm almost 50 years old. I've been told my whole life, probably by a million people, that your vote really don't count. Your vote really don't count. I've heard that my whole life. And now when the votes actually don't count.
Oh, it does and it doesn't. It does and it doesn't. That's the thing, is we don't have representative polling anyway, so it wouldn't matter because your vote doesn't matter. It's based on a large chunk state vote. So they just take all the votes and it lops everything. So my vote here doesn't count because it's too widespread. If it was counted by individual vote, then that'd be different, but it doesn't. It doesn't count that way. It's based on writing.
On what? Right? What?
Writing, like your voting block. The
In
area.
other
you're
words,
in.
if she votes with the Green Party, then the Green Party represents so much, and right?
No, like I mean that like it doesn't matter because it's based on statewide or whatever or citywide. They take your polling area and then they lock together all the votes. So let's say you have let's say there's 200 people in your voting district. Obviously, it'd be a much larger number than that. Let's say that 101 of those people voted towards the Republicans and the other ones voted Democrat. The entire thing goes to the Republicans because of one, that 1% in that little riding, So your actual vote doesn't count because it's based on that riding. And that means that riding could be literally 50% basically swayed one way.
Huh. That's fucked up.
Yes, that is how the voting system works.
Yeah. Well, it's not that much better here.
No, that is how it works there too. It's exactly the same there.
Yeah. Also, we might have now the guys who get the most votes don't win anyways now, so we don't have any way of knowing.
Can I just say that I don't even know why you care if Trump lost or not. It doesn't matter. They're both bad on either side. It's not like you were doing well under Trump being the president, for fuck's sake. All this shit happened under Trump.
My biggest problem with Trump is that he made this virus and he created it and he killed all these people, because he's a very good lab. He's very good at chemistry. So Trump is a great chemist. And so,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hey man,
man, I hope
think
someday
Trump
I never have the chance to blame you for something like that. You go, oh my God, your family member got cancer. I go, and it's all because of Lizzie Stanton and her ability to give people.
Hey man, Trump is a fucking visionary. That dude is orange. He must be eating carrots. His vision must be fantastic.
Trump is an amazing chemist. It's all part of his master plan.
That's right, man. Trump did this whole thing. It was Trump and China, and they were all
Actually,
in on this together.
I kind of I don't know where Pauline, she's the one who knows this stuff more than anybody, but I'm kind of disappointed that it looks like Trump is looking like someone who just like gives up like everybody else, like when the going gets tough, it's time to give up.
You
I don't
guys
know what's
pay
going
attention to Lao Tzu.
What's that?
What's going
He's
on
a
in
human
America
being,
with
too.
Trump and everything?
The art of war.
Right, he's thinking of the long-term strategy, right? That's what's going on.
Yes,
He's
that's
planning to fight another
exactly
battle.
what's going on. This is long term. It's not just for the next 4 years.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Well, that's the thing that's kind of throwing me with this whole thing is them being like, oh, well, the vaccines come out. Oh, but you have to still stay locked up even after. And then you also have to keep socially distanced and you have to wear a mask. And
I don't know.
Hold on, what's the point in the vaccine?
See,
Yeah.
here in the United States, we have a federal system. So the president can lay out something, but it's up to the governors to decide whether they want to go along with it or not.
That's
That
not
goes with the
necessarily
10th
true.
Amendment and all that. So that's why
not necessarily true.
Florida is open. You can go to restaurants, you can do anything you want. But here in Kami, California, everything is shut down and we're not allowed outside of our house.
California. President, Governor Communist Nuisance.
Yes.
Maybe Elizabeth doesn't know this about me, but I actually lived in the People's Republic of China for a year. So I'm very well aware
The
of
People's
what-
Republic of Canada.
That's what they call it.
I've never heard of it referred to that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what it is.
Thank you.
It's the People's
Yeah.
Republic of China, or the PRC.
They don't call their countries what they actually are. It's like advertising. You gotta call it something nice. You can't just, like United States of America. It sounds really
Yeah.
nice, because we're when I look at us now, we're so united. Very, very united.
Where does the name America come from?
Amerigo Vespucci.
Supposedly, yeah, right.
What is it?
A man named Amerigo Vespucci. He was an Italian guy.
Yeah. Why is it named that?
Amerigo.
Yeah, but why is this guy so special they named the entire damn country after an Italian dude?
Well, because Christopher Columbus was. No,
He's a map guy.
Yeah.
he was a map maker. He was an explorer, a navigator. He was from the Republic of Florence.
Oh,
And
Republic of Florence.
he became a Spanish citizen at one point, but he was also making voyages over here like Columbus was, and I guess because things were published under his name, he got more at the time, more credit for stuff.
You guys got your vaccine? You guys got your vaccine ready? Is anybody taking the vaccine? Seems like it's not. I don't know.
Wait,
No,
this
does
is
it-
weird. Why did
Fine.
they name America Columbia?
What?
Yeah.
Columbia. Why'd they name Columbia after Christopher Columbus, but not America? He's the one that discovered it first, right?
Oh no!
Yeah, that's
What
curious.
you have to understand is there's several different countries had their hand in the American pie. So you had Spaniards going to South America, but you had English coming to the colonies, 13 colonies, but you also had the French who landed in Quebec and the Scottish who were in bed with the Canadian, the French, and they named Nova Scotia. That's what it means, New Scotland. And then you had New Amsterdam, which then became New York after the War of 1812, because that's where the English, the Dutch were building a colony prior to the English taking over after they lost the war.
So this Amerigold dude, why was he so special that they named the place after him instead of Columbus, though? Wasn't Columbus the first one to go there?
No, Columbus actually never made it to America. And that's what's so funny is he made it to the San Salvador Islands, which are just outside of America, down in where Haiti and that is, down in that region.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Wow.
I heard he was chopping off heads and stuff.
Oh, and also you had the Spaniards, but you also had the Portuguese, because Brazil is Portuguese, and it all came to a culmination at one point because you had the Pope and the line. That's where we get the line of demarcation, and that's why South America is Spanish and North America is English.
Have you guys devolved into a history class?
Yeah, I was gonna say this has gone a little bit off course.
I wanted some
Well,
cutting edge conspiracy
Amerigo
shit.
Vespucci, and I was trying to explain that's why Colombia was named after Columbus, because he was down in that region and there were so many other people involved in the upper region.
Well, I would just think that naming the entire place after some Italian dude seems a little bit off, but you know.
Yeah, well, we
I
named
want a
it after
Bigfoot
India
booty
for 400
bandit
years.
alien anal probe rip off.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do, Brian. Well, bring it, man. I want to know all about it, man. If things get too calm, we definitely need something to be paranoid about, you know?
All my friends think that I'm insane doing these podcasts. They're like, you become one of these anti-vaxxers. I'm like, no, man, I haven't. I'm just doing these things because I'm like, it's fucking funny, people.
Yeah.
I'm like, you
Tell
guys
them
are
that it's-
actually questioning shit. This is the thing. It's like, I'm sure that there is a virus. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I'm questioning all the rest of the shit around the virus.
Wait a minute. How are you sure that there's a virus when the CDC hasn't even?
Okay, hold on. There's definitely a lot of people who've been getting sick with this weird pneumonia type shit for at this point to be like, oh no, there's no corona. There's definitely something.
There's something. It might or might not be a virus.
Well, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but some kind of a horrible flu that's killing people is going around is all I can say. I'm sure there is some illness. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Mental
Yeah,
illness,
the
definitely,
interesting
definitely a
illness seems
widespread
to only
mental
kill Republicans over the last 48 hours.
What?
illness. Some
There's been
Republicans
like over the last 48 hours, there's been like 3 or 4 Republicans die.
Really?
Yep.
Yay!
got-
Politicians. Politicians dying, or specifically that group, Casey? Which one are you cheering for?
that was Brian cheering. But,
Oh,
you know.
Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. For Republicans or just politicians in general dying?
Well, he's hoping dead COVID victims. I don't know.
Hey, if it has to be somebody, it'd definitely be a politician. That's definitely.
Oh my god, guys! I just feel I should point this out. I just don't even understand what the comment was meant to be. But somebody messaged me on my Instagram, just like they'll message me on my TikTok, because I do all these things, questioning the lockdowns and everything, and questioning like what's going on. The same as JP Sears does, but nobody has a big issue with him. Or well, no, then again, YouTube and Facebook sure do. But yeah, no, I just I posted a picture of me standing with a bunch of friends on New Year's, and I said, oh, you know, the one great thing about this year is I've become such a renegade and a rebel, meeting up with my friends and actually be willing to show my face this year. It's so easy to be you know, counterculture now, just being willing to go out, you know, because I don't listen to the values of a pediatrician. But freaking Bonnie Henry's a pediatrician, for God's sake. We're listening to a children's doctor over here.
Is that right? Wow.
That's more than we're listening to in LA. At least yours has got a medical degree.
Oh, what did he do? You go, we got a children's doctor telling us not to meet up. Now I have some person message me and go, oh, what are you, a Republican comedian? I was like, what? Like, no, I think that I'm just questioning what this bullshit is. I'm like, you know, I'm actually a comedian that wants to be seen, which is a real comedian.
The thing is, in LA, our public health person doesn't have any kind of health degree whatsoever. It's in public,
Sociology.
Yeah, sociology, something to do with public health.
Public
But
health.
as far as making policy, it has nothing to do with actually having been in a hospital at any other time,
No.
diagnosing anyone.
That's so
doing-
impressive. They have a sociology degree. I have a minor in sociology. Maybe they can tell us about Emil Durkheim and his thoughts on suicide.
Yeah, that's why
this
she
is
keeps
suicide.
locking us down and telling us that, you know, it's interesting because here the virus keeps going up allegedly,
Yeah.
and we're
Crazy.
locked down. I mean, you can't even go to the store. It's like 20% capacity, you know.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my neighbor had to go get her money order for the rent today. And she was just like complaining to me in Spanish. She's like, oh my God, Pauline, you would not believe the line was down the block because they only let 2 people in at a time. She
Wow.
was scared she wasn't going to get in to get it.
Meanwhile, all the people are lined up outside, breathing air. I'm like,
Exactly.
this
I know,
whole
and-
thing is so stupid at my work. Hold on. This is the same thing at restaurants, bars.
So what is it makes you so sure that COVID is a real thing
Hold
and that
on,
every
just-
counter is full of shit?
Hold on. My favorite
Because
thing
you're a
is
doctor
you're allowed
and
to
so you're
sit at a
biologist.
bar or a restaurant or in the lunchroom over here as long as you're eating or drinking. You can be a foot away from a person eating or drinking, but the second you are no longer consuming things, then you have COVID. Then you have to wear a mask.
No, but I mean, for real though, you act provid.
Provid.
Yeah, like you act like there's an actual
Love it.
legitimate kernel of truth underneath that thing. But I would just like to say, as I said many months ago before we started this, can someone show me some motherfucking proof? I want to see a dead body. If it's a pandemic, like zombies, I don't know, bubonic plague,
Brian,
something.
this is the
I'm gonna watch
stupidest shit
somebody
I've heard.
explode, fall out of a window in front of me. Someone's got to die.
This
But
is
without
the
that,
stupidest shit that I've ever heard. There is
How is it
definitely
that the
people
stupidest
dying of
shit-
COVID.
wait a minute. Are
There
you telling
They
me you
dug
believe
mass
everything you
graves in
hear?
New York. I'm pretty sure
you
they
believe
just
what you
didn't do
hear?
it for effect.
Do you believe the news?
I do
What is it
believe they
you
dug
that makes you-
graves.
What is it you're hearing that's so compelling that you believe it?
Everything. I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist.
No, I'm
sure.
asking you. I'm
Hold
asking
on.
you.
I have
What is it
friends.
that convinced you?
I have friends who have had COVID. I have had friends, they've gotten over it, or I have friends who had relatives die. I'm sure there is a fucking virus. It's just
How were
lockdowns
they
and-
diagnosed? How were they diagnosed?
Why are you sure? Why are you sure?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that my friend Christy Vera, who's another comic who lives over in Florida, didn't catch COVID, say she had COVID and was having trouble breathing, but then got over
There's
it.
all
I'm
kinds of
pretty sure
people
she
say
wasn't
all
lying
kinds of
about that.
bullshit. All kinds of people lie. That's why she would say it.
Yes,
All people-
another comedian,
Well,
another
it's also-
comedian I know was
it's also
lying
very-
publicly on
Saying that
Facebook
some
and Instagram.
person, a disembodied voice, is more credible in your mind than the
Hold on.
absolute
Is
lack
that a
of it.
disembodied voice? I fucking met her. She did the same open mics as me.
And
Also,
does
it's,
that make her fucking absolutely trustworthy?
I'm pretty sure
Or
that my
knowledgeable?
friend, hold on, my friend who lives in Florida also, he had his dad get COVID and he said that his dad is all fucked up from it and he lives in
said-
Peru. That's
he
a whole
said-
nother country.
Every COVIDer, every COVIDiot always goes with, he said.
Oh my God. Hold
I
on.
love
How
you,
can
Elizabeth.
you
You're the
deny
greatest.
that
I
there
think
are
the
people
funniest
literally
shit.
getting sick right now?
You
What
don't
do
know
think
shit
that they
about
just-
this disease.
Do you think that they just magically made up that every single person who has gotten sick has gotten sick? No, I'm pretty sure that not all. You know,
No,
it'd be a
I
really
think
big
they hijacked
conspiracy if that
all
many
the
people died.
normal yearly flu and pneumonia deaths. They also put in carjacking and car crashes, accidents, murder,
I
suicides.
agree. I agree. The rate of diagnosis and the rate of death is definitely bullshit, but I do not believe there's no virus.
Well, you could not believe it or not, but if you take away the bullshit factor out of the death toll that they report, then you start talking about into the 0.00 then a digit.
You know what?
realm.
We should
And it fits
really
into the point to where 1,000 or
we should really be
Pardon me?
focusing on, okay, so if somebody goes into your house and say like you have a party and you see them steal some of your shit, and then you go and then you ask them if they
Yeah.
stole some of your shit. If you ask them and then they deny it, but you saw them do it and then you don't do anything, you have to admit that those people own you. So what we're doing right now is we have to collectively admit to what extent that our government kind of owns us. So we keep catching them, and yet they know we won't do nothing. So that's
Hold
the
on,
thing.
Casey, I'd just like to
No, we
verify.
won't.
That's a good point.
You do believe that there is an actual thing that people are getting sick from right now, right?
I don't have to believe nothing you
what?
believe. I don't have to believe. You know why? Because I'm almost twice your age. I don't care if I'm unpopular like you do. You care very much.
Because I think I'm unpopular. I think that this
No,
many
it really
people,
is. No, it
I
really
think
is.
this many people lying is not a conspiracy at that
Well,
point.
but
This is
I
like
don't-
somebody. Hold
Why
on.
you don't
This
even
is
let
like
me?
someone straight up
Why are
denying
you
that
asking?
anyone
Why are
died
you
in
asking?
9/11.
Why are you asking me a question you won't let me answer? Of course I believe that. Whatever. That's not even the point, though. The point is that if the government's making you do all this shit that doesn't, it's contradictory, that doesn't make sense. Even if there is a virus, if they're making you not be able to go to a comedy show because people are going to get sick, some bullshit
Yes,
like that,
I agree.
you're
That's
letting
what
it
I'm
happen.
saying.
Start
That's
a
what
fucking
I'm
riot.
saying. I'm saying there's a virus, but all the
Well, fuck
measures
the
are
virus.
bullshit.
Fuck the virus. I think it's possible that Brian's right. There's a possibility. And also, I don't really care if I'm the only one who thinks the thing and everyone doesn't. In fact, I don't. You can't. We should not be amongst us trying to label anybody as crazy. That's
I'm not
some
trying to
liberal-
label anyone as crazy. What I'm saying though is that everyone
you
else
should-
is labeling
but you
people who
should-
are questioning. Hold
But you
on.
shouldn't even go down that
Everyone
road.
is
Like that's the,
labeling people who are questioning
Let
the
me
restrictions as
interject
people
one
who
thing,
deny
though,
that there's a
please.
virus.
yeah. Go ahead.
Please, Elizabeth. When it is flu season, you will walk around in your daily life and you will run into people that have the flu. When it is cold season, you will run into people that have the cold. If you see a whole bunch of returning home Afghanistan war vets that have been maimed by IEDs, you will run into one once in a while. I defy you to show me a picture, a selfie of you next to some COVID patient. Do that, and I will retract everything I say. But until then, I'm not believing shit.
Yeah, I'll have to go with you. I'm just gonna go with their ultimately what they're doing is a big giant fuck over of reality and
10 months now,
There's
and
no
we
Jews
don't have
killed.
no
What are you
visual
talking
proof.
about? What? There was no Jews killed until I go to the concentration camps. Yeah, it's no Jews killed. 9.
And then, of course, as a good Democrat, immediately, if I cast any aspersions on your version of things, you can denounce me as a conspiracy theorist.
No,
Like, oh, how
I'm
dare
saying that I am
person
sure
think that we're
people are
wrong? You
getting sick from
conspire!
something.
You know,
what were
that's
you saying?
defamation of character, by the way.
You take it too personal.
So, I don't know. It's not personal. It's indicative. I love Elizabeth. I think she's great. She's typical of most millennials who are more than willing to accept the government
Oh my god, I'm
bullshit.
not typical
Why
of
would
most
we
of them.
trust
Are
those
you
people?
fucking kidding me? I can't get laid right
Why
now
do you
because the rest
trust them?
of these fucking millennial twats won't meet up with me because they're too concerned about a virus and because none of them want to get their fucking dick wet. So don't tell me that I'm typical of millennials. That is not the case.
No, you're not. You're
Wow. I picked a scab there.
very
Let the
special.
blood flow. Elizabeth, don't get mad. Oh, Elizabeth's mad.
I'm not mad. I am tired of people fucking labeling. Don't tell me there's a virus. There's a fucking virus. People are getting sick. Do I think that the masks are helping? No. Do I think the lockdowns are helping? No. Do I think this vaccine is probably any good? Probably not. I think it's going to cause people to get fucking muscular problems.
Do you think you'll be able to prove it to me? No.
Then why are we even arguing about this?
I don't know why you're
not
internally arguing amongst
I thought we were
yourselves.
making predictions for 2021.
All
Yes.
right.
Thank you, Pauline. Go for it.
The aliens didn't land yet, so
Hey, by the way, when Stoner Steve was getting chastised for messing up the Petri dish, there's Dave, his buddy's in the corner watching TV, and he goes, "Ancient aliens? What are you talking about? I was just there last week."
So when everything becomes like when China buys us all out and we have to become China, I just want to know what is China really like? Like it's really not that bad, right? Like we keep acting like it's that bad, but like you lived over there, China's not that bad as long as you just don't talk about the government. You can fly your little drones and fuck around with your little, you just have
It's
to.
kind of like Springfield with the 3-eyed fish. You know, all the water is glowing with toxic waste.
Oh shit!
I love that jaundiced look of the Beijing Olympics.
Actually, yeah, if you really think
everything
about
is
it,
rationed.
China is Springfield. China is Springfield. The people are yellow, and the water is polluted.
I think
Fish are growing extra eyes.
She's talking about the
they're a little
Simpsons.
Nuclear power
they're a little
plants
too-
everywhere. No
yeah.
one's concerned about pollution.
And they censor
It's
a lot of
just
things.
like Springfield.
Springfield
Well, like half the
is
They're a
country's
lot like America.
impoverished. Like more than half the country, from what I heard. Like
You've
like
seen haystacks in a farm field that are actually houses. When you've seen people collect the coal dust from their fireplace to put it together and out for the sun to dry so that they can have coal for the next day. When you've seen people pay a whole entire month's salary just so that when they invite you over to dinner, they can impress you with the one thing that they got and know that they're
A
not
human
gonna
foot.
eat for the rest of the month.
so
Then tell me that's great and that we're going to be there in 3 weeks.
yeah, but you should have been telling us all along this shit. Most people are too dumb; they don't even know nothing about that.
Apparently, you're not on my Twitter page, but that's
No,
okay.
I am. I know. I'm just saying. People don't tell people. Like whenever someone goes, "Why are you like Trump?" I go, "Because Trump was actually trying to like set up an adversarial relationship with China and do Americans."
Oh my God, Trump is not a good fucking person. Can we stop acting like Trump's everyone's hero over here?
I think you should probably excuse yourself because you don't know how to say one positive thing about Trump. I'm not saying Trump doesn't have all kinds of stuff about him that's bad.
One positive
I
thing
don't
about
think he
Trump,
needs to set up
doesn't
and
like-
have a
You don't know anything about what you're talking about. You don't know anything about Trump is setting up tariffs with China, and you don't even know. You don't know what the
Trump doesn't give a fuck about. Politician does.
he gives a fuck about his own relationship, how he looks with China. He's very competitive.
He
It is
gives
about
a fuck about capitalism.
his own pocket and nobody else's. He cares that he is rich.
Yeah, but if
Nobody
he
else.
Then why
The-
did he ask for us to have $2,000 and it was Congress that voted it down?
How come he doesn't take a salary?
Yeah, he doesn't take any salary. He gets $1 every quarter.
Because he wants power. It's called megalomania.
Considering that
Well, what
every
would you
other
call the rulers
congressperson
of China?
I'm not saying Trump's any kind of hero, but I do think he did try to go up against China, and then they said, "Oh no, you don't. We're business partners with China." So you have basically the Biden family and the McConnell and all the Republicans. Actually, they all are like on board with that. So all the media, everybody wanted to get rid of Trump, but it's okay. They can have that. That's going to happen now. But what you're going to have is we're basically having this relationship with China that, like Pauline says, we might not want, and we didn't get we didn't really decide it because most of us don't know. We aren't told that China has a terrible, terrible, brutal relationship with people. And that's what we're supposed to care about. All these Democrats, all these people used to be people who really would object to like civil rights. And man, we're not even thinking about none of that now. So we just think by yelling that we're against Trump, that means we're like for some kind of justice. And instead of yelling against Trump, you should be yelling against having any kind of business relationship with a China who is that is like so evil to people. We don't even care. We don't care because we skipped the generation of supposed to care. I did it. I didn't care. I didn't pay attention to any of it.
Yeah.
So now we're reaping all the benefits of us not knowing because, they don't want to tell us. They don't want to tell us. That's not what the news doesn't exist to inform us now. The news exists to exclude things that we're not supposed to talk about. That's like what the whole thing is now.
As far as one country attempting to take over another country, not only does that exist since recorded time began, but also it is in current practice today as we speak. There's no theory about it. Anytime you have one country making moves on another, that is a fucking conspiracy by definition, and it happens all the time. We have 17 defense agencies, one of which is the CIA. Now go tell them that everything they do is a fucking theory.
Yeah, another one is I just watched this interview and this guy General Spalding. Pauline probably knows about him, Robert Spalding. But anyway, he talks about how they planned the three major companies that are helping to build the 5G network are like Chinese companies, and they planned like a long time ago so they
and
could
guess we're out of.
Hold on, what is this 5G thing? I'm really confused by this myself. What the fuck is that? What does Wi-Fi have to do with anything?
Oh well, the big difference.
Well, because the amount of frequency in the hertz.
What?
The biggest difference that I can hear is that if there's something, the difference is something to do with per mile. In most urban areas, there'd be something like, I thought it was like 4,000 to 8,000 phones. And then when you have 5G, it'll be something like 300,000 phones. So it'll be something like you don't even have to actually hold. So it'll be the difference between like, if you set this phone down, then you're no longer being traced, right? But it'll be so that it's a entire network that follows wherever you go and whatever you do. So you don't even have to hold the phone anymore. So that's like what the difference is with 5G.
It's not the phones, it's the transmitters. There's so many more of them than there are for regular cell phones.
Right, so you can do stuff like touch the fucking air, like to order shit, like all kinds of futuristic shit that's really cool.
Wow, that's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, it's shit that seems really
and
cool.
when everybody was locked down like good little sheeples, and me and Tracy were stuck running around like fucking rogue pirates, the only people out on the streets at that time was us, cops, and Spectrum Wi-Fi guys just working feverishly everywhere.
Are you
But I would
serious?
tell you,
installing 5G.
I would tell you, Elizabeth,
Wow.
the main
Wow,
thing,
that's interesting.
the main thing to be,
Hold on. The main
Yeah.
thing.
the main thing to be pay attention to is what anytime you even mention 5G, if you don't love it, you'll be called crazy. You'll always be aware of the crazy thing,
Yeah.
because
Oh.
if you can't just go like, I have some
Fuck's
things
sake,
I'd like to
hold on, I
know
don't
about
even
5G.
understand
No,
what it
you'll
is.
just
You know
notice.
what? This is the problem is, and this is the amazing thing to me, is it seems to be this Republican kind of conspiracy ideology where it's like everything has to be a conspiracy. 5G and they're putting microchips into us and they're
I know.
tracing us and there's no such thing as COVID. Maybe there's something in between the two. Because frankly, I'm questioning
This
both
wasn't
sides.
always a Republican thing. Brian and
Yeah.
I could probably tell you, and maybe Patricia, because I think you did it. But
I've never
back in
been-
the day,
The day, yeah.
when our parents were protesting, it was the leftists who were talking about all this shit.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Right.
Also, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in a family that hated Republicans, always Democrat all the time.
Yeah.
And only like 3 years ago, basically because in the social scene, I started getting called Republican because I disagreed with random things like not wanting to be singled out as a white guy all the time and shit like that. So they started like, yeah, they would
I
point at me
came
and say,
from a
white guy.
family that was so Republican that the day John Kennedy got domed, they had a fucking drunken celebration party and just
What?
degraded my only Democrat uncle in the party. They were so Republican.
God damn, that's some serious shit. That's now Liz is laughing. He's like, ah, you got killed. Holy shit, that's funny because I was thinking of my mom telling me that like when Kennedy got killed, she was like in her cafeteria at college and she was like, a bunch of people cried, and at that same instant, your family was like going, yeah, party.
Guys, while I very
Oh,
much
yeah,
enjoy
there's
this
people-
wonderful non-partisan conversation, I do have to get going back to work.
Oh,
All
well,
right.
thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, we can talk shit about you now when you're. Just kidding.
Yes,
You're
you can
pretty.
talk- You can talk about what a commie I am.
You're
do-
not.
Oh,
do-
you
You're
are.
not.
I
You're
do
not.
say,
Just Canadian, that's all.
I do.
All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.
Love Elizabeth.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I do love Elizabeth.
Is she
but I
still
will say
on?
no, I will say I
As soon
love
as she's
Elizabeth.
off, let us know. That way we can talk shit.
Yeah, I love her, but I always tell her, I go, if you hate SJWs, you always say SJW so much. Why do you always agree reflexively with all of their stances on everything? Like she goes like, I listen to Ben
What's
Shapiro and I see
SJW?
he's kind of cool and everybody up there hates him. I go, why don't you just say you're a Republican? Just be the opposite. Just fucking have fun with it. You know, why do you still have to kowtow to them? Like, because it's a social thing. You're a total outcast. It's like mind control. If you're in Vancouver and you can't even exist as a Republican, I've never seen nothing like it. It's like worse than even Seattle. Like you can't be conservative there.
It's like pod people.
You're right. She's not allowed to.
It's like
question
Donald Sutherland at the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They just look at somebody and they know that they're Republican. They go and point them out.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
So
know-
in other words, she's doing pretty good to question it at all, considering this amount of social pressure that's up there. I'm serious. It's like a lot. They'll make you like ostracized. That's a big deal. When you're old, you don't care. You're like, go ahead. I hope you ostracize me. Whatever.
Come on, who takes Canadians seriously? Nobody really cares what they think.
Exactly. You're
I
right.
took them seriously when I've realized I could never get a job as a journalist because all the journalists were Canadian.
Really?
Oh shit.
If you think about it and if you look into the backgrounds of a lot of the journalists, especially in the bigger markets, they're all Canadian.
You know one thing, there's a lot
I
of
was born in Canada
Canadian
too, by
and
the way.
English
I didn't
artists.
know that, Casey. Cool. What did you
Yeah.
say, Brian?
There is a lot of artistic people in England and Canada.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's the socialism.
But they're still obnoxious.
When you get paid not to work for and then you get
Canada's more socialist.
Here's my
than the United
prediction for
States.
2021.
Okay.
I have two, and they are mutually exclusive. One is, I think that before the year is out, if Biden does manage to get in, there's going to be a general push for control and repression. And they're going to move into small town America. They're going to go like have some kind of thing where they want to do in some very Republican, very well armed little town. And they're going to go try to muscle their way in, the feds. And the people there are going to push back, have sort of a Waco, Leonard Peltier kind of a deal. And then once shots are fired, and once there's any kind of aggression, violent aggression by the government against citizens, and that's going to go out in real time on 47 different social media sites, and that's when the shit's going to kick off, because the rest of the people in the country are going to go, you know what, that's the alarm bell right there. Or it's going to be just such pathetic compliance that we literally go even farther in our digression and become full-on communist by the end of the year. It's not even going to wait for us.
Ugh, that's scary, but I could see that happening. I can't believe how much people's behavior has changed during 2020. Have y'all
From a year ago.
Oh, you don't even know.
Yeah.
Their behavior.
Yeah.
That's true.
How
Yeah,
long
it's
are you
fucking weird.
The fact that you get yelled at everywhere if you don't wear a mask or if you don't do this, like, it's none of your business and leave me alone.
Yep.
Tracy went off to somewhere tonight, a different store when we were going somewhere, and some dude said something about put your mask on, bitch. And she said something, and he said it again. I don't care if I'm 61, fat, stupid, ugly, dumb. I will beat the fucking shit out of some unsuspecting fucktard because, you know what I mean? Put your mask on, bitch. I'll tie that dude up, butt fucking and rob him. I don't know. It's about time to really get crazy over here because people are getting weird. She's right.
Wow.
I don't know how it is in North Carolina, but out here it's going to the next level.
Wow.
And the more it does, the more I get rebellious.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you don't even want to walk out of your house at night because it's just, you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, man, you can't leave your house. You're in the internet. We know this now.
Maybe we could do a group suicide.
Yeah, upload it.
You know?
We can do a what?
A group suicide? But I'm not talking about
No,
5
no,
people.
no.
I'm talking about
I
like
won't
a million.
participate.
I'm talking about a Jim Jones. I just want to cause economic damage to somebody like Mark Zuckerberg. I was just hoping like half of his people on Facebook kill themselves. They're like, whoa, that would hurt our business. Oh my God. And they go, wow, that would mean they really were upset with the way this country was going. They actually left the planet. Oh, those...
Yeah.
Well, half of
again, we
Facebook
still
and Twitter
could.
is
I
getting
mean,
into the administration.
There's still the, you know, 2020 card there. What was in the 2020 hand that didn't get played? Okay, we didn't have an alien invasion. So
what more do you want?
No asteroid strike.
yeah, there was no asteroid strike. I'm
We
just
did have
saying
a-
there were cards in the deck that didn't get played last year.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want them played this year, but you know,
Maybe it's time to
That's a little anal
maybe it's time
retentive
for the
want
world.
all the catastrophes
20
at
years
once.
ago, nobody could have told me I would be not allowed out of my house. And if I went to the bank, I'd have to wear a mask and ask for money.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, we're watching all these videos and learning all this like alternate media and stuff and figuring out the truth about it. So what's the reason? Just to find out about it and then continue to do it? No, the reason is though that all these people will get together and then figure out something. Like I don't even know what the possible maximum level plan would be. Basically like take over one state and have that be a state that nobody wears masks and believes in this shit. And then, you know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out what would be the actual play. You know, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. At this moment, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I talked
Well,
to somebody
it's
today
always-
who was saying that
Yeah.
she wears a mask because she's seen so many Facebook videos of people, you know, yelling and stuff at people who don't wear masks, like they did with Tracy today, Brian. And she's seen so much of that stuff, so she's afraid to go without a mask. And I wonder how many other people feel that way.
I think the
You know what I saw?
majority of
I
them.
think it depends on where you live and the climate in the area, because like there's a lot of stabbings and a rise in gun violence around.
Oh, murders is off the chain. They're just skyrocketing. Murders, violent assaults, and FBI statistics through the fucking roof. You bet.
Wow, I did not know. We're not hearing that. Why don't we see that in the headlines?
Well, why would you be hearing that?
Because that doesn't, it's not paying, it's not part of the conditioning.
Yep, they're trying to get you dumb.
Because one, it contributes to disbelief,
what
and two,
yeah.
there's no profit in it for the mainstream media as far as advertising. Sensationalism, but they don't want to have to trace it back to the origin. But this is why we're wearing them, period. In the lack of real information, you don't have to tell a lie. You just don't mention the truth. And then people will believe anything you say.
I saw, that's true. I saw one that was interesting. It was on my friend Matt's blog. It was this guy in LA who's a restaurant owner. And then what they do is they have these outdoor tents. You know, you see all these outdoor tents that they had to build with their own money. And then what they do is they make it so that you have to tell people to not be in your outdoor tent. Like, so if somebody sits down to have a sandwich, then if you get fined, if you don't tell them, and someone comes and he goes, I'm not the cops. That'd be like if someone robbed your liquor store and then the liquor store gets fined for letting someone rob their liquor store. They're not responsible for enforcing your laws. Like, so they're making this new bullshit where like, oh, you're supposed to enforce the mask mandate, people who work at a restaurant and shit. And so they come and the health department worker comes with a car, and then he backed his car in. Did you hear about that? And then
Oh yeah.
he wanted to leave and he goes, oh, I'm sorry, you can't do your job. And I go, what's funny is that's just symbolic, right? But that's actually what actually needs to start happening. You actually have to go like, you physically, I mean, it's impossible right now, but you go, Amazon, you cannot make profits. You can't make profits until everyone can make profits.
Yeah.
So you can't, so in other words, instead of complaining, you have to go like, you're not allowed to get your check. Like Governor Newsom, Governor Inslee, you cannot get your paycheck.
Yes.
You can't drive your car. You can't drive your car.
Here's the problem with that.
Yeah,
These
I know
people that are individuals, they are making these grandiose statements that affect so many millions. You're never going to be able to overwhelmingly win a public opinion against them. The truth is, and I'm not advocating one thing or the other, but if there was ever going to be a change in this type of regime, you just literally got to lop the head off that one.
That's the thing. That's Brian, that's why you hear
Newsom,
that's why you hear so much demonization of any even inkling of rising up. Even if you're not doing it violently, anytime you hear any kind of protest against lockdown, it's immediate, like those are idiots, those are psychos. You heard it from Elizabeth, those are crazies, they'll get it, you know what I mean? Like, stomp that out immediately. Like, don't, you know what I mean? You'll hear that, like, it's so that's why you have to not take no for an answer. And that's why they don't want to have any of that. Like, I don't want to see any violence happen, but you'll notice that's the only language they speak. That's the only language they speak, is if like 1,000 people stand in the way of, you know, or like 1 million people say no more ordering from Amazon, and then they start to lose their money, then things will change. See, that's the only thing that impacts anything. It's literally the only language they speak is dominance, power, you know, money.
The trouble with that is they forced us into such a thing for so long economically that, like where we are, you can only order and Amazon. If you want some, the post office is not delivering the way that they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So everything has to go through Amazon.
Pavlovian conditioning.
Yeah, it's real sad.
Like, in other words, Pavlov was a guy who trained dogs in Russia, right?
Yeah.
And when they did something he didn't want, he would beat them. And when they did something he did want, he gave them a treat. And so then pretty soon, by trial and error, these dogs became good because they were.
Yep, you're right. We could go back to the Constitution and start looking at it at it and really like.
Yeah, so the dogs became good because they didn't like getting beat. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's something we respond to.
That's what's happening with the American people.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's true. Like,
Hey, you
oh,
want
if
to
you,
know a saying I heard the other day? It
yeah.
was about Joseph Stalin. And apparently, when he was like in power, he got a bunch of his guys around him, and he took them out to some farm, and he picked up a chicken and ripped off all the chicken's
Oh,
feathers, right? And the chicken was squawking horribly and running around bleeding, no feathers. But then he goes over and he takes some bread and he starts throwing crumbs, and the chicken follows him eating the breadcrumbs. And he goes, "See, you could treat anybody just as bad as you want, as long as you throw them some insignificant little nothings later, they'll follow."
Oh,
wow.
interesting.
Yeah, I heard that story.
So what you're saying is we need to tear off all of Gavin Newsom's hairs out of his body one by one, and then fucking throw him some faggoty little fucking breadcrumbs and say, go crawl around, eat those at your little fucking winery or whatever the fuck it is you're doing.
Plump Jack Winery.
Yeah, but you don't do it in the middle of the night and throw him off the boat. You got to do it on TV so everybody sees.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what that guy in being
Power to the people, brother.
got
Power
shot.
to the people. Power to the fucking people, man.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the next time some faggoty little Newsom head wanted to rise up, he'd be like, "Hey, I remember watching this film where that guy got his fingers cut off,
Yeah.
shoved up his ass."
And then when he yells out, why, you go, I think you know goddamn well why. And frankly, I resent you asking, Gavin Newsom. Oh, we're gonna get arrested for this shit
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
was gonna say, please.
Oh my god, the censorship. God, they got us by the balls, huh? They got, imagine that. You got to be like, I can't speak
on
freely
a
now.
VPN.
You can't speak freely now. What's the point, anyways? There ain't nothing. If you can't speak freely, what is there, anyways?
Well,
You
you
know?
know, some congressman, well, he's not a congressman yet. He's not even, he just said that he was going to run for Congress in 2022. He went
Yeah.
to the Mar-a-Lago New Year's Eve party with his fiance, posted a picture of him at Mar-a-Lago with his fiance on his Instagram account. His fiance has now had to move out of their home with their 4 dogs, and he's under protection. And she is no longer employed as a pharmacist where she was working for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because the New York Times posted, picked it up and posted that he was at this party at Mar-a-Lago.
Somehow New York Times fucking sends me every morning some email with their like rundown of their daily news. And it's cool because I like to look at it and go, what are the daily lies? Like because I don't read mainstream news and I read it and I'm just like going, all of this shit is the opposite of what they're saying. Like you can just,
Yeah.
and that's what goes out to the majority
Yeah.
of people. Like they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and they bow down to it and go, "Oh, almighty New York Times, what have you to say to me today?"
My comedian here, my best friend in Seattle, he'll talk to me and he's like, some people think you're going a little too far. And I go, dude, okay, what you need to do is make sure to not ever call yourself an intellectual again, because intellectuals are curious about what's going on. You know, you can't be an intellectual conformist. You have to just remove intellectual from the fucking
Exactly.
title. You
Yeah.
can't be intellectual when you like want to question me on basic shit you don't want to read. You know what I mean? If you want to read basic mainstream news, you have to accept that what they're doing now is a new thing. It's brand new. It was maybe happened before, but now it's more extreme. It's a total freeze out of information of something that's important and newsworthy. You know, it's a new
That
world.
is the language of the new millennials, is oxymorons. And the reason oxymorons are weird is because they're like two things that mean the opposite, right?
Mhm.
The new world order. Well, how can it be ordered if it's new? Stay safe.
new
How are you gonna
normal.
stay safe? You know, the new normal. If it's normal, it can't be new, and vice versa. You know,
Yeah.
and this whole thing about social distancing.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't
right.
be
All of it.
social at a distance.
War is
And
peace.
so everything is
Freedom,
means nothing.
slavery. Ignorance is truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You take little phrases. Like I saw one, it was like a sign, and everyone was talking about like a sign that had all these phrases like that.
Well, what I just quoted was George Orwell, but anyway.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, George
I
Orwell.
like the one that says, "We're all in this together."
Oh, right, yeah.
No,
Isn't
no,
that
no. We're in it to get her.
fun?
Like, okay, Gavin, while you're over there in Hawaii, could I go kick it on your 12 tennis court, basketball hoop, Northern California mansion compound, buddy?
His $12 million house in Sacramento or outside of Sacramento.
Oh, did you see what Pelosi did to her house?
Oh, what she did?
Somebody, yeah, what happened? Who did that?
She did. At
She
least
did?
that's the latest in that rumor.
What'd she do to her house?
She
He
it
blamed it on
Wow.
white
Deep
man.
state shit.
violated her garage door by writing BLM, and you need to give us the 2,000 and
No.
all this kind of stuff, and they left a pig head with some blood, faux blood. I don't know where the blood came from, but in her driveway. And I'm like, when I saw that picture, I was like, something doesn't add up about this. And
Oh,
now
it's
there's
another
all
hoax.
kinds of rumors about that she did it, and so now it's covered up with garage. Her garage is covered up with trash bags.
Oh my God.
I think it was the Corleones. Corleone family did it.
Let me
I
guess.
don't
I
know,
love
but
it.
this
Even though it says
all
Black
these
Lives Matter, they're gonna
people
make it
a
like
little bit-
right wingers did it. And of course, it has to be right. It has to be right wingers did it.
Well,
Of course,
it said BLM right on it. BLM and Antifa.
it must be those BLM right wingers. Like the other day, we had a comedy show, and there was a lady, and she called us Proud Boy communists. And I go, I want to be known as the Proud Boy communists from now on, because you know the worst kind of Proud Boy is those Proud Boy communist socialists. You know, the Proud Boys are famous for their love of communism, obviously. So, yes, they go, thanks, idiot. And then we called the cops, and then they took her away. It was pretty funny. I actually thought they might bust up our show, but they handcuffed the lady. Yeah, fucking idiot.
Oh, the cops
Proud Boy
are-
communist. Yeah.
I don't know. It's all, like I said, there's a whole
Well, half
lot.
the open mics down here you could mistake for a protest.
Oh yeah.
That's
I
right.
bet. I guess you have to call them a protest to do even a mic.
Yeah.
Okay, I've watched 13 comics in a row at the zoo and not laughed once.
Oh yeah.
Only
Jesus.
13? My God.
Yeah,
You usually get through a longer
that was a
line.
good
than
night.
that to do.
Brian,
We should have
no,
a-
I
we
used
should have
to
a-
do I used to host 3 nights a week for
Oh, shit.
Dante up at the Canoga Bowl.
Oh yes, that's right.
3 nights a week.
The Pauline years.
Probably 25 comics a night. Oh my goodness.
Shit.
Was that before or after you went to China?
That was after, I think.
Were they good? Was it a good mic or what? Or you don't sound
Well,
enthusiastic.
Okay, so there were some high level comics, like, Dice dropped in once. Stephen
Oh.
Pearl was there all the time, but
Yeah.
then there were some
Making
The
a bunch
guy
of great
from-
decisions.
Fred Berry used to be there. The guy from What's
yeah,
Happening.
for rerun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Joey
okay.
Gaynor.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of it was a mix.
Oh.
John DeResta,
Those
Yeah.
are the kind I like. I like Mike Smith.
and then people like me and Trisha.
Brian Ross,
And
did you
speaking
ever
of
do
Dante,
Sport Ball?
what?
Brian,
Did
did
you
you
ever do
ever
that?
do
Yeah,
Sport Ball?
Yeah, he did
I
Canoga
thought
Bowl.
you did. I thought so.
one time.
Oh, just
You have
one?
to show up there at like 7:30 at night, and well, usually I'd be there because I'd leave work, and I'd drive through the traffic from Beverly Hills up to Canoga Bowl,
Oh, that's
and then I'd go into the little diner and eat dinner,
Oh.
and then come out and
Yep.
all night long. And I used to love
Yeah, it
that.
was brutal.
Not love, as in I was in love with him, gonna marry him kind of thing. But the janitor guy was really cool.
James that was killed.
Oh yeah,
And
he told me about
the
that.
bartender lady
Yeah.
too, Darlene, was that her name?
There was a Darlene. There was one who died.
Yeah, I think that's the one that died.
Yes, I
No,
think
then there was the other one.
I can't think of the other one's name, but yeah, one of them died. Diane died.
Diane. I knew it started with a D.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
yeah, yeah. And we
Yeah,
went to her
she ended up with
funeral.
lung cancer or something, and she passed.
Yes, very quickly. I mean, I don't
I
think
mean, it was
anybody
like
knew she was sick.
just like James. It was, you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
James
You know,
that's
speaking of
Scott.
Dante, he has turned this pandemic into advantage.
yeah.
Dante, he's all into this. I ended up blocking him.
Oh shit.
Now he's turned the comedy contest he does into a worldwide Zoom contest.
You're
Oh, fuck.
kidding. You're kidding. I did not know that. That's interesting.
Nope.
Thank God I got off that email list.
I was about to say I hate Zoom. I forgot I was on it right now. But other than that,
Yeah, I'm sure our overlords are checking in every once in a while to see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
Oh, we're being monitored on a daily basis. I guarantee it. Any associates, affiliates, followers, whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely. Words of dissension.
Oh well, you know,
Heretics.
they better get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you? So
I have a
Is it
wood
more-
leg Lyme's disease tick.
Huh?
What?
got sick?
Nothing.
I thought I had COVID for a little bit. I've been sick for 2 weeks. You know, I'm just paranoid that I think that you're
Did you
getting
get
it.
checked out?
Don't take a test.
No, I'm way too paranoid to go get any kind of testing too because I don't believe in the testing.
Yes.
I believe the testing is implant. I believe the testing may very well be implanting something.
Yeah.
Why would I need to test anyway? So all I did was just, you know, I guess I ended up just basically just having a cold for about 10 days. It's mostly gone now.
Yeah.
So but I also was like going like, do colds still exist? Is every cold now COVID, or can you still just get a cold? You know?
Now you
Like,
can get a
it does
brain
cross your mind.
aneurysm, but it's
You can have a
COVID-19.
cold, but if it goes to flu and pneumonia, then you're COVID.
I guess when you can't taste or smell, I don't know. I really don't know, and then I just don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I think it's gone. So, but it's been like 10 days of being cold. This is longer than normal for a cold.
Yeah.
But it's also longer than normal for COVID too.
Yeah.
You know that in 2020, 67% of the flu and pneumonia cases and deaths normally reported were not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of stuff about that.
There's government regulation in a lot of states now that you have to put COVID-19 as a death.
What?
There's no more.
Yeah. They just hijacked those deaths.
Yeah,
That's all
look
they
into
did.
this lady, Jennifer, what's her name? Jennifer Calderon, who works in Florida for Gainesville paper. They talked about all kinds of trouble she got in for talking about the reporting, the different reporting discrepancies and for reporting death and illnesses
See the
in
one where
Florida.
the police came into her house and while she was recording?
Oh, I'm not sure if that happened.
Oh,
But,
wow.
There was a
Wow.
statistics analyst for Governor DeSantis that the sheriff came in
Yes.
and raided her home while her kids were there.
Read
She's
about
got it all on footage, and they took
Whoa.
all her computers and all her mobile phones.
Jesus, man. They're not fucking around.
No, no. They're trying to scare people, deliberately trying to scare people into this. That's the only way it's going to work. Is
It's working.
Happy New Year, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, not if everybody. But truthfully, I agree with you on most things. But on this one,
What do you
On
disagree
what?
with?
What? What is this
Oh.
one?
He just hung up dramatically right at that moment.
Oh,
He was
okay.
like,
beg to
I
differ.
have a disagreement.
They don't need to scare everybody. They just need to scare most people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Because even if you got the heart to fight the good fight, eventually every day just go get a fucking quart of milk or take your kid to school or do whatever. The little things we do, you don't even think about it, and you go and you encounter some fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's a
It's enough to make you want to holler.
Yeah, I was harassed at Whole Foods the other day. It was really, really awful. And it was the
Okay.
first time, because the one I've been going to here where I am now, not in Southern California right now, but that one I've been going to, and they've had no problem with me not wearing a mask. And this little guy was a tyrant. He just, followed me around, and even at the cash register said, if you come in here again without a mask, I'm calling the police. It was really, it was very
You should
chilling.
just tell him right away to call the police. Just please do right now. Like, just really calmly. Don't get upset. Just call them right now. Then, please, just tell them.
That's a good idea.
Bring the police. You might as well bring the police, because you know what I mean, like, there's no way to avoid it. At some point you have to like figure out whether or not they're going to start arresting people, you know what I mean? And then you basically need to get like 3 people with you. You should always try to find someone outside the store, who's like another person who doesn't want to do this, and so we can figure out what's what, because that was interesting with that guy who blocked that healthcare worker. He was like going, oh, it's like you can't do your job, right? It's like weird. It's weird how you can't do your job now, because your job is fucking with other people's jobs. And then the cop comes, and then he's going like, you're not going to have any people left to arrest and fine. You understand where it's heading? You know what I mean? Like you can't just have only cops and only healthcare workers, and you can't have other workers. You know what I mean? There's a whole system in place. So people can't just go. They can't.
You got heroes and devils.
Well, they're trying to just do their job and feed their family. I get it. Like, keep your blinders on. Don't stay in your lane. But unfortunately, that's not working now. We can't just stay in our lane. We got to think of the broader good. It's kind of hard, man. You don't know. You do want to just say, look, let's just buckle down and just do the right thing, and it'll all take care of itself. That's what everybody's doing, right? Most people are like, I'll wear a mask as soon as it clears up, and then they're just going along that route, but they don't realize that it's not going to work out that way. I don't believe.
No, I think you're right.
And what if I'm right and there is no fucking COVID, so it'll never clear up, so you will never be able to go back to normal?
I think that's where it's headed.
Yes, I agree with you. Unfortunately, yes. That's what I think is happening. I felt that way the first time when they locked down. I had this feeling, I was at a Doug Stanhope show, and it was like February 6th or whatever the fuck it was. And I remember feeling like it's a big goodbye. Like, it felt like a big deal. I could feel shit. I can feel shit. Like, I know.
Probably is.
That's intuition.
Other people are like, yeah, everything's good. And I go, I'm not feeling optimism. I'm feeling like this is a big thing we're doing,
Yeah.
And it's been a long ass fucking 2 weeks, hasn't it, my friends? Fucking 2 weeks.
Yeah.
10-month long 2 weeks.
Yes. Yes, it's absolutely.
I want the year they stole from me back.
I feel you. I totally do.
Well, I talked to a mom today, and her daughter, was part of the 2020 class, and everybody's getting screwed now. She was like 7th in her class. She was going to get to make a speech, all this stuff. All that stuff was taken away. No prom, no honors. That's going to affect the psyche of all these kids that, lost out on this stuff.
This is the thing. It affects them this year and the next year, as far as these kids. So yeah, the first year seniors, it affected. The second year, not so much, because they had stuff to look forward to, but they didn't have the preparation. And the longer they keep us at this, the more we'll forget what it was like before.
Exactly. The first year is uncomfortable, but after that, then there's always a precedent.
Yeah. That's really sad.
Hate to tell you this, folks. I think America's gone already.
I don't know, man. It's weird though. It's still like you go out and still like things are happening. Like, I worry about what the longer steps are like, because you still can't really make a rich nation without having all this industry happening. There's no other way to replace it. You can't really like replace, like even if you had a master plan, you can't replace it with like, you mean you still have to have all this businesses selling stuff, products all over the world and all this stuff. So, I mean, the idea of,
longer we go without certain things, again, then
yeah, it becomes a new normal.
remembering
That
it.
that statement you've heard, new normal. I fucking hate that shit. When I hear it on the TV now on like commercials and shit. You know what I mean? If you watch
Yeah.
TV, you see like normalizing masks, all this kind of shit.
Conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are fucking dumb. There's some real dumb fucks out there. You know?
Yeah.
I
go-
heard that
Right.
football games, if you get a ticket into the stadium, that there's you're responsible for 6 cardboard cutouts on each side of you, and when they do the wave, you got to take the little arms to the cardboard cutouts and go, yeah.
Oh my god. It is fucking retarded. It is some fucking dystopian shit. Some of the shit you see, you're like literally like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this shit. You know what it does? It makes me it's really sad. It's a weird thing. I know it doesn't matter, but when you're a kid, athletes are like your heroes. You know, like football players are like heroic and like baseball players. And even though it's dumb because you're just a kid and you know they're just regular men and everything, but these guys are like heroic. And now you see like these guys who would be like your heroes. They're like playing in a stands where there's no people, and you know none of them are objecting to anything. You know what I mean? None of them are like, huh?
Yeah, have you lost any respect for them?
Yeah, man, I have lost respect for them. I have. I've only been watching the games.
What about all
because
the Hollywood celebrities?
I never had no respect to begin with to lose. So, I mean, you know, like they're.
I can't
actors.
even watch a Brad Pitt film without
You're right.
disliking that guy now.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to have a homo bromance with him.
It's true. It's lost its whimsy. That's what I was saying. The word I was thinking of the other day is all these entertainment things have lost their whimsical value because they were value in relation to the rest of society. Like it's like they're symbolic of like. So if you make a movie, it's about like what's going on. It's like relative to the rest. Now there is no society. We have a big giant issue. So all the movies should be about that. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's
instead,
where it's interesting because where have we heard that a lot of crap is going on? Not LA, but New York City. So I thought, well, they've got episodes now, Blue Bloods and Law and Order Special Victims Unit online. Those are police department dramas. I'm interested. I want to see because, you know, like Blue
Right.
Bloods, Tom Selleck's character is in charge of the NYPD. And half the time on the TV show, they're not even wearing their masks. When they do wear them, they don't wear them properly as far as if they're going to portray real life.
oh, I see.
It's ridiculous. And they're not even sticking.
Oh, you want the fucking masks now? What the fuck?
No. I'm just saying that I was interested in if they would portray
Oh, right.
life as it is, because that's where they're cops, for God's sakes, and they're supposed to be in New York City, which is we're being shown as
Oh shit! Even our fantasies suck now. Our fantasies are like, ooh, we could be rebellious and have our mask down a little bit. Like, ooh, we're like, fuck. A fantasy is like to burn all these fucking masks. I fucking hate these masks.
Chin diaper.
Yeah, it's a chin diaper. It is.
If they're
They ruin
so-
my day. They ruin my day when I see friends wearing them. I just go, I hate you. I hate all this. I can't live. I can't live like this, man.
Why
I
are
really
there
can't.
masks everywhere? If it's a biohazard, why are there masks everywhere all over the street?
Yeah, exactly.
Good question. Yeah, exactly. Also, another one is no one ever like, where is the giant worldwide manhunt for the cause and the creators of the virus? And where is the even interest in making sure there's never a virus again? That's the most disturbing thing you should think about, that no one is even going like on a massive level going, how do we make sure that we never have any virus like this again? It's
Oh,
almost
instead
like,
they're making bills like the one in New York that we started this podcast off with.
yeah, I heard that today.
Or how about a picture of the villain itself? Have you seen this virus? If so, call 1-888.
Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
Dr. Fucky. This is called Dr. Fucky.
I'm gonna leave this show on a positive note.
All right, good idea. Good idea.
And that is today I went to a funeral. The woman
Oh,
was
that's positive.
3. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was
Really
outdoor.
brought the spirit up there, Patricia.
Ooh,
But when I went, everybody was wearing a mask except these 2 people, and it was outside, of course, because they don't have funerals inside anymore. And it was outside, and there were these 2 people that didn't have on masks. And so I was going to ask them something. And, I saw people I'd known all my life, but I couldn't tell who they were because they had on masks. But these 2 people didn't have on masks, and I talked to them. And as it turns out, they see through all of this stuff. And they're just normal, regular people. And I thought, maybe there's a lot of hope because people are here I was talking to them and they saw through all of it, and they were, it's obvious they'd done a lot of research, and they didn't understand the mask. And the guy said, if you go into Walmart, he said, if I'm feeling really nasty, and they give me a mask, I'll say, okay, when I go back out and I don't, but he doesn't wear a mask, but he just to say this to them,
right.
Okay, when I go back out, what kind of biohazard container should I put this in? Where's the biohazard container for me to put this in?
Good. That's excellent, man. That's so good.
Yeah.
Instead of just refusing to wear a mask, instead of
How many
really
people were at the
logic.
funeral?
Probably 30 or 40. And
2 of them didn't have masks on.
3 counting me. Yes, that I saw.
Whoa.
And the
That's
preacher.
not a very good percentage.
Yeah. And the preachers, and the people that I was talking to, that didn't have on masks, they also, I said, this is evil. It's like a satanic thing. And they understood that part. I mean, this is a spiritual battle.
Yeah. I agree with that. It really is. It is a spiritual battle because you can't even, when you try to talk to some people about it, they actually are. It's almost like you're speaking a different language to them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, even if you accept the precepts of some kind of safety justification, it still doesn't justify it. Like,
Yeah.
even if you could make it a case
Here's
that it
what
was
I don't
safety.
like.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't like.
Peace and
Pauline and Patricia, I've known for a while. And so, like, when we used to do comedy, I said some pretty obscene.
I
Obscene
love how
shit.
you sound like that.
I find that hard to believe, but doesn't seem like you at all.
I think most people kind of regarded me as at least rational, if not a little bit above average intelligence, considering there's a lot of dumb people down here in LA. But I
Don't get me
cannot
started.
the imperious way that the Democrats like assert that their shit is fat, like very condescending and is looking down their nose like we're all stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I feel like punching all of them. Who the fuck are you calling stupid? Stupid? You know?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
ask them for any kind of factual proof,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
They feel the same way about us, though. They think that we're stupid for not following stuff. I mean, this is a divide and conquer psychological operation.
I would love to look into this some more, but apparently there's some breaking news here.
Uh-oh, what we got? Breaking,
President President Trump canceled the Bill Gates project known as ID 2020.
Wow.
good.
He's made vaccines voluntary, not mandatory, and the military will check purity and distribute vaccines. He's defunded the World Health Organization forever now and wants an investigation into its operations. He canceled the Democrats' HR bill known as the COVID-19 Trace Act that was the basis for the Bill Gates Diagnosis and Tracking Project. He canceled ID 2020. He opened a complaint platform to report censorship on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. He stopped the 5G rollout nationwide.
but they're gonna count fucking electoral votes in 3 days.
He put an executive order to reopen the states, and governors who refuse to reopen will be sued.
Oh shit! What? This is all today?
This is just in the last, yeah. An executive order for the White House to take over all electrical grids, which will be including internet servers, broadcasting systems, and electronic systems.
Ooh, that does not sound good.
So he's
No.
doing it.
Well, that's
That's not
after the situation in Nashville, but that's a big explanation.
That's why that situation was then. Now the White House. Oh, okay, that's not good.
Oh, now I get. I did the same thing. I was like, oh, it's an excuse. It's a
he's
great
declared-
excuse.
He's declared places of worship essential services and some mayors are fining people for going to church, and he's applauded Australia and 116 countries for insisting on a China probe into the spread of the COVID-19, despite several threats from China about refusing critical exports. Well, that goes to what Casey was asking. Why is there no investigation? But it sounds like he's trying to head up an investigation with 116 countries.
Okay, well, that's good. That's it all sounds cute and everything, but if he's gonna be gone in 3 days, you know,
Yeah.
it kind of sounds like when he issued that document when he signed the new stimulus, and then he said all these stipulations of things that he wanted to have done with the stimulus. You know what I mean?
Who
He
did?
basically Trump. He said, "I'm going to sign this, but I wanted."
Well, you
I
know,
wanted to have-
there's an act that allows him to do that. It's sort of kind of a line item veto, but it's actually called something else. But they were just passing an
Yeah, omnibus thing, right?
yeah, and it wasn't an actual budget bill, so it's a different way to do the spending. He is allowed to do that.
I just thought it ended up not having any like oomph behind it, no power behind it. They were just going to
Look at
ignore
what
it.
they're spending it on.
Yeah, I know. Fucking
I mean,
gender studies,
I'm not
gender
sure
studies.
the money going to Yemen.
Yeah, it's fucking.
We gave every country in the world that hates us. We give them money.
But it doesn't really, what you understand is that's money laundering, because it doesn't really go to Pakistan for gender studies. Pakistan may take a cut because they allowed them to flow through, and it really goes back to Nancy Pelosi or whoever added that line to the bill.
Oh, really? It goes to them
Okay,
directly.
that sounds plausible.
So then when you add that up to all their
It's
things
getting
and put in there
frustrating.
that they asked for a raise for themselves, it's really ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's so, because this is an omnibus bill, the way an omnibus spending bill is set up, all the committees and people get together to add their thing. And what happens is a lobbyist goes to a PowerPoint on the committee, basically, and that PowerPoint manages to slip it into the bill. And these omnibus bills tend to be as big as they are, 5,000 pages or whatever of just crap. But then what happens is because nobody reads them till afterwards, it gets signed off because we need the money and we need to keep the things rolling.
Yeah,
And
they attach it to that.
so
Yeah.
they've attached it, and then so for instance, gender studies. So it goes to Pakistan. Somebody in Pakistan that was the lobbyist for that gets a piece of pie, and then the rest of the pie goes to. They say so, and the lobbyist sets up something, makes it look like there was a gender study. Everything else goes into the pocket of the person who put the line item on the bill.
And by the way, all of the money, the 100% of the money is all money that's not budgeted. It's not budgeted real money that has to be paid back. In other words, it's like, you know, you're in more debt, that you're in really terrible debt, and you take out a bigger loan. Somehow someone gives you another loan, you know? It's all
Give
that's
you
on top of
credit
that.
card. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You get a credit card. That's what's so stupid about credit is you have good credit, so we'll give you a new card so that you can put more debt on that card.
Yeah, that's the system. That's the system. We got to break
But
away.
we said we were going to end on a
We need to be
good note.
teaching
We are.
children
So
is that
2021.
it's okay to be a plumber.
Right.
You don't need a college degree to get rid of $50,000 worth of debt.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have only one credit card and ooh, here's a concept, pay it off.
Yeah.
Okay, 2021. Quick things that you think that you want to happen. A good thing that can happen in 2021. Casey, you go first.
A good thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to survive the year, just have everything survive the year.
Yeah.
Maybe see positive changes, maybe make people more aware, just be more aware, really educate, just get everybody around your local surroundings to be more smart and more interested in what's going on and more actually engaged their minds, less zombie like, just, have an actual conversation, forward the conversation.
Yeah.
Push it forward. That's about it.
Okay. Good.
Face
Pauline?
things directly,
Do what? Yeah. Directly. Right.
just face it, just face the thing,
Good.
whatever it's
Good.
going to be.
Don't hide behind the mask,
Yeah, I guess I gotta not wear the mask.
so to speak. Yeah. In a metaphorical way and a literal way. Pauline, good things for 2021 that you can think of that you want to happen anyway?
I just want to live free.
Oh.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
free.
I don't want somebody to tell me that because I explored some thought process that didn't agree with anything that they think about.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's a really good point.
free is a big word. Free means you're free.
Exactly.
So
Freedom can be scary looking sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do something that we didn't get to do at the funeral today, and that is sing.
You can do
If
what?
anybody wants to sing,
Oh,
they didn't-
who knows West Side Story? Who knows West Side Story?
if you know it, that would be awesome.
Well, there's the one song in West Side Story that I think is very applicable for 2021.
Okay, let's do it.
Could be, who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away. Soon as it shows, it may come cannonballing down through the sky, gleaming its eye, bright as a rose. Who knows? It's just out of reach, down the block, on a beach, under a tree. Got a feeling there's a miracle due, gonna come true, coming to me. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. If I can wait, something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be great. I can stop there.
Great, yay!
Beautiful.
It's all solved. I love it. That was great.
That's awesome.
All right.
Okay, well, happy
Good job.
2021 to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian Ross. Thank you, Casey Judson. Thank you, Pauline Williams. And
How when you say something can't get worse, you almost jinx it. I don't think you could do that with 2020.
That's right.
I don't think so. It'll be all right. We'll do something. Okay, man. See you guys later. Have a great night.
Awesome.
Talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
y'all too. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye, Internet, Pauline.
Bye.